Hey, everyone. Thanks. So first and foremost, I'd like to thank Christina and Elisa for inviting me to give this short intro ahead of the networking session. I thought I'd just really spend a few minutes describing how I got into 3D printing, which is often the questions that pops up in the women in 3D printing community, and tell you a little bit more, obviously, what we do with Cyant and our platform, as Elisa mentioned. Actually, my road into 3D printing is long, so I'm not sure I would advise it to everyone because I started looking into it a few years ago, but my background is originally in computer vision and machine learning. So these days, computer vision and machine learning are fairly mainstream as buzzwords. But I had the opportunity to work on cutting-edge applications over the years, from image stitching, which you now have on your iPhone, to medical imaging, real-time video exploitation, and newer technologies. I saw that the coding community is represented tonight, so I like to code. I still do. This is pretty much me late at night still. And my cat joins me as well, so this is an accurate picture. So while I'm a techie, I have always been interested in the arts and humanities. A few years ago, actually, Nora, who is the founder of Women in 3D Printing, said, is it because you're a techie that you feel deprived of art? And I said, well, actually, the answer is multi-parts. And one thing is I've always strongly believed in the necessary and beneficial interplay between the arts, which, by the way, is a wonderfully gender-neutral playground, and science and technology. Another part is that I also grew up in Paris, and I was surrounded by culture and art, which is very lucky. So I got, I guess, exposed to a lot of, historical and artistic legacy. And in addition to that, I also lived in the UK for 10 years before moving here to the United States and live here for about 20 years now. So another thing about me is I've been privileged to live in 3 different countries extensively and travel to many others and see firsthand how this type of opportunity helps building empathy and intuition and seeing how everything is connected and how we all are connected. So I always wish that opportunity to as many people as possible. So moving forward to Cyant, a few years ago, it struck me, like quite a few other people in the community here, how much the technology uniquely bridged the gap between digital and physical and had the potential for opening new outlets for learning and creativity. And it was important to me as a mother. I had at the time a 7-year-old, and I just thought, this is potentially going to be part of his future. And the field offered the promise of connectivity and intersection between disciplines like few others. In fact, it reminded me a little bit of computer vision when I first started researching the field. And I've seen firsthand throughout my professional career that this type of intersection is a key to innovation and solving the wide-ranging problems the next generation might face, whether it might be space exploration or just simply make this planet more inhabitable and making this planet more sustainable. So as excited as I was, I also could see that there were a few challenges to overcome, from printing speed, something that I felt limited in being able to address, but also to ease of design. And it seemed important for more intuitive tools and ways to create to be available, particularly for kids, to make this technology as accessible to as many people as possible, regardless of gender, background, and learning ability. So I made it science focus to be part of addressing these opportunities and challenges and to connect art and technology to foster learning, creativity, and engagement. And the goal is very simple, is to enable a diverse community of scientists from all genders, ages, and background to learn, connect, create, make new things in new ways. So we develop software tools, including our iPad app Science Lab, which I can talk about in a second, and experiences, educational workshops, like STEAM workshops in particular. I'm a really big proponent of STEAM learning. We also participate at relevant industry events, and we also co-organize some, as 3D Talk, which we've co-organized with women in 3D printing in the past few years, to help close the technology literacy gap. And I've had discussion with some, and some of you, how important it is to make sure that all of us communicate the right ideas about what 3D printing can do and cannot do, so that as a community we can invest on the best foot forward. So we've launched our iPad app Science Lab, and to make 3D printing and 3D modeling more accessible and intuitive for kids by helping them rely on something that they know intuitively how to do, which is drawing. So I'll be at the table over there if you want to see how it works. But as much as it was made for kids in mind, it really enables creators, educators, makers, and kids of all ages who are new to the field to create 3D models in minutes with no sweats, no steep learning curve involved, through drawing and to 3D print them. I'm actually carrying a few things that we made with with Science Lab in a few minutes. And so I invite you to come and talk to me if you have any question. And of course, you can follow us on social media. We're not as prolific on social media, but we try. If you have any question, you can always email me. I'm always happy to respond, and check out our website for upcoming events. We actually have a couple of STEAM workshops lined up for this month and next month, and we're building additional events over the coming weeks. So by all means, come and talk to me if you have any question on that too. And now, without further ado, I'm going to pass it back to Alyssa to listen to Brian.